The hair on the back of her neck began to tingle when she heard it. Footsteps. It was late in the autumn, around the time when it began to get dark very quickly in the evening. The footsteps quickened. She clutched her bag closer to her body and tried to slow her breathing, to keep calm. Quicker still. Louder. She should have accepted that ride from Ethan. He offered almost every day, but she didn't trust being alone with him. There was just something about him. Her heart began to beat harder and faster as the footsteps came closer and closer. In the reflection of a store window, she could finally see him. He was large, menacing. His dark hair a mess that fell in front of his face as the wind at his back ushered it forward. He looked sort of pale, almost sickly. She felt a pang of fear swirling in her stomach. Shortly after 9:30, the traffic in that part of town had slowed severely. No cars would come by them. No savior would be appearing. No hope. This wasn't how her father had raised her, to be meek and afraid. He'd wanted her to be strong and proud, to take care of herself no matter what. The sound of the footsteps became painful as they drew close enough for her to feel his hand touch her shoulder. His fingertips tightened and began embedding into her shoulder as he spoke one word. Hello. She tried to wriggle from his grasp. At the slightest movement, he let out a quiet laugh and said, "Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you." He matched his pace to hers, falling into sync beside her. "So hey, I've seen you around a lot lately. You just moved here? It's a small place. We don't get new residents much." She tried to go faster, but he kept up. "What's your name?" "I'm Alfie." She clenched her jaw. "Hello? Look, I'm just trying to be nice. It seems like you don't really know many people here yet." The end of the road was approaching. The end where she had to turn off, head down the wooded river path that led to her gray brick home. She loved it there, but for the first time in her life she wished she wasn't alone. She missed her father. She pushed forward and went quickly toward the river path at a sprint. She had a feeling he would follow. And he did. He raced up behind her and grabbed her arm sharply, nearly knocking her to the ground. Their eyes met. He smelled like cheap alcohol, but also something else. Something foul. A sound escaped her lips like a scream, but sharper, with more gut and anguish. He tried to quiet her with one hand while the other grasped at her neck. The palm of his hand half rested on the ground, slightly pulled at her hair, threatening to release it from her scalp. That was it. It was happening. Teeth sinking in, and they were both covered in warm, sticky blood. "Please, no, please," were the only words that choked out between the cries of desperation and agony. The way the flesh and tendons ripped open and apart reminded her of eating candy floss at the fair when she was young. It had been a long time since then, though. Her parents loved taking her to places like that when she was a little girl. Her father never bothered, though. He wanted her to grow up. He said she had too much to learn to muck about with trivial outings. Her regret of not taking the ride with Ethan had subsided to relief. She would have felt bad if it had been Ethan. That foul stink underneath the alcohol stench was sickness. Cancer, maybe, she thought. He tasted terrible. But she was hungry. She was always hungry. Taking his life wasn't so bad, was it? A disgusting criminal who would attack a tiny girl late at night deserved it. She tried to make sure it was always people like him. That's what her father, her maker, had taught her. Sometimes it didn't work out that way, though. Oh well. Better them than her.